Hey guys, it's Mason and this is Wrestling in the Dark, the only wrestling review and recap show brought to you by a blind fan as far as I know. It's NXT time. It's time to take a look at this week's episode, NXT 501, the aftermath of Takeover New York the previous weekend. Kicking off the show, we got Candice LeRae versus Aaliyah. Now, one of the things that I like about the Women's Tag Team Championship division being introduced on the main roster is that we can now have women actually forming tag teams, actually being in real, fully formed tag teams. So when Aaliyah comes out to the ring with Vanessa Bourne isn't just a lackey. She's not just a henchwoman. She is her tag team partner and she can be referred to as such, and I like that. I don't know why I like that. It makes it less like they just have little friends out at the ringside with them. This match didn't have anything particularly special in it. I didn't feel like it got a whole lot started. It didn't have much action. There was a step up sent on from Candice LeRae at one point. There was some... in fact, I'm trying to think of things that happened and not a whole lot did. I did like Aaliyah's character work, though. It was, I don't know why, but there was just something about it that I actually quite enjoyed. She screamed at one point, "Brooklyn! Cheer for me!" And they all booed her, which was a nice little spot. She was going for quick covers on Candice at one point, and she would scream, "Excuse me!" every time she would kick out, and all I could think of was Vicky Guerrero, and that annoyed me. So yeah, job done being an effective heel there. The character work was good, gives Candice a win, but it never really truly got started and never really drew me in, so I'll give it a 3 out of 6. Then we got a Velveteen Dream promo. It wasn't a particularly long one, but it was pretty funny, to be honest. He was about to start putting himself over and talking about how good the match at Takeover was when he spotted spotted Buddy Murphy, and he proceeded just to take the piss out of Buddy Murphy for losing his championship. Look, guys, he said, that's the face of someone who couldn't handle it. And I don't know, I really liked it. Buddy Murphy didn't come over, but he was shouting things back at him, and they just really set it up nicely for the match that they then announced next week, which is the NXT North American Championship being put on the line. Buddy Murphy versus Velveteen Dream. Should be a pretty good defense for Dream, to be honest. I'm not particularly well versed in the world of 205 Live, but I have heard Buddy Murphy's name around. I have heard people say really good things about him. I love Velveteen Dream, so I can't see why that match would not be absolutely fantastic. Really looking forward to it. Next up, it was the signing of Kushida. They showed us the footage of that. That was a nice touch. All the press taking the pictures and both men letting him sign the contract. Regal and Triple H just made him feel like a special attraction, like him coming in was actually a big deal, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with him and getting to know this new superstar. I can't wait. I am not well versed in the indies at all. I have a limited knowledge, and I've heard of Kushida, but I've never really seen anything that he's done, so I'm really looking forward to getting to see this new talent. Then we got Danny Burch versus Jackson Riker of the Forgotten Sons, and I really like this match. Danny Burch is always on point with his hard hitting matches, him and Lorcan both put on really good striking displays, and I really enjoy their matches usually. Birch came out of the gate hard. He had a drop kick, was hitting some hard strikes, trying to get Riker down, but it just wasn't working. Riker took control. He hit a belly to back suplex on Birch. He also quote unquote dropped Birch for the near fall. I'm not particularly sure what the move was because they didn't call that. Like I said, all they said was that he dropped him. We also got a headbutt from Riker. He was just doing that heel slowing down the match thing with his strong offense, and it was a nicely paced match in my opinion. They actually got a "You suck" chant from the crowd, which is nice. I'm glad that the Forgotten Sons are finally actually starting to get some heat behind them. I actually don't mind the Forgotten Sons. I don't know why. I like their entrance music. I think that might be what it is. It's impossible not to nod your head to that entrance music when they come out, and I loved it. Then we got Danny Burch delivering a corner clothesline, step up enziguri, and then a missile dropkick, and Riker finally goes down. Forgotten Sons distract Birch though, and he gets out ringside to take them out. When he gets back in, he gets hit with Riker's finisher, the Widowmaker, and that's a nice sounding move. I can't wait to find out what it is. He hit that and picked up the win. Afterwards, he started beating down Birch, and the Forgotten Sons got involved. Lorcan came in to even the score, and he threw some massive sounding chops that were just ringing out throughout the arena. But eventually, the Forgotten Sons got the numbers game and stood tall. A nice, solid little story, really. I wonder where they're going to go with the Birch and Lorcan thing, because I've heard that Lorcan is on 205 Live as a heel now, so I'm not sure where they're going to go with the Birch and Lorcan thing, but it was nice to see him come in and try to save his friend. Birch, there's something about him that I always get behind. I love a good striker, someone that can pick up the pace and hit with those fast and hard sounding strikes. This was a really decent match. It was a strong 4. Really think that it could have done with a few more minutes. I understand why they have to do the recap stuff in this sort of show right after the takeover, but 1 second, sorry, my phone is determined to shout at me. I just had to shut it up. I completely lost where I was now. That stupid phone, eh? Yeah, I just really enjoyed this match, and I give it a strong 4 out of 6. I wanted to give it a 5 out of 6, but I think it could have done with longer. I think this is where I was now. Yeah, I understand why they have to do the recaps for the NXT episodes after the takeovers, but it just bothers me when they could just give a couple more minutes to a match like this that could have really, really got going, and just those few more spots, it could have been a 5 out of 6 match. After that, Shayna Baszler, short promo. She gets asked about defying the odds at TakeOver, and she says, "I don't care about the odds. Doesn't matter who you put in front of me. No one's taking this title." And she walks away. Nicely done. Pete Dunne does more or less the same thing, gets asked about losing his championship to Walter, and he says, "There will be a rematch," and then just leaves it. Really on point promo work in this episode. Dream's one was really entertaining, Shayna's was impactful, Pete's was intriguing, it makes you wonder what he's going to do when he goes after Walter. Just nicely done, to be honest. I really enjoyed the little video packages that we got. We also had, after the recap of the Adam Cole Johnny Gargano match, we got some exclusive footage that they'd been promising throughout the whole show, basically. And I was like, ooh, what is this going to be? Unseen footage. And it was the Undisputed Era squabbling backstage. Adam Cole trying to just blame the other three for losing, and just, like I said, just squabbling and going on. I feel like they made a little bit too much of a big deal about it, but maybe it's actually going to go somewhere. But I can't see that. Undisputed Era have been doing so well as a team. They're so over, so I can't see them breaking them up. Just a nice tease, I think, for just to keep people interested and keep things fresh. And finally, in the main event, we got tag team action. The Street Profits versus the European Union. My mouth didn't work then. The European Union, Fabian Aichner and Marcel Bartel. This was what felt like a fairly short match that had quite a lot crammed into it. It was fairly standard in terms of the dynamic and story being told. It was the heels trying to keep the faces grounded, cutting off the ring, stopping the hot tag being made. Ford was the one that was getting beaten down by the heels for the most part. He was getting hit with brain busters by Fabian Aichner. He got hit with a spine buster, knee to the face combination by both Fabian and Marcel. There was a lot of keeping Ford grounded, keeping him away from Dawkins, and once Dawkins eventually got that hot tag and came in, he started running wild, but it didn't last for too long. There was quite a few little spots in here that were really nice. Bartel and Aichner just work really well as a team together. They've come together really, really well. A team that I wasn't initially huge on when they formed in NXT UK, but from this performance, they seem to have done a lot better. Both men hit electric chairs. There was a brain buster spot for the near fall. They both hit basement drop kicks on the Street Profits, but eventually Dawkins fired up. He hit the spear, and then the Street Profits hit the Avalanche blockbuster for the win. It was short, it was fast, and it had quite a lot packed into it. Again, this is one of those matches that I understand that they have to do the recaps, but with just a couple more minutes, I think this was a really, really strong 4, and I think that if they'd have just had those few more minutes and just that little bit more time to build, I think it could have really gotten the crowd really whipped up, and me too. It would have got me whipped up. I really enjoyed it, but I just think it should have been longer. That's my real only complaint with any of the stuff on this show. Again, recap heavy shows are just sort of, they're boring, aren't they? Let's just admit it. I understand why they have to do it, and don't get me wrong, the video packages are all really effective. I'm glad that anyone tuning in after Takeover can get recapped, etc., etc. But it does make it hard to sit through, because you're just like, oh, come on. As I said, I really enjoyed this match, especially considering that I've not really seen much of the Street Profits myself, and and it wasn't too long. They were really putting over that the Street Profits needed the win. I don't know whether they've been teasing the breakup or not, but maybe it seemed like it was coming, because they were teasing that Dawkins had this new edge when he got the hot tag, because they had been on a losing streak. So it's good to see them pick up that win against the heels, and I'm looking forward to seeing where they go from there, really. I gave this a 4 out of 6, but with a few more minutes, it could have been a 5. And so with that, we've reached the end of the review, and that's what I thought of this week's NXT. But what did you think? I'd love to know. Leave me a comment in the comment section down below, and we'll discuss it. I'm really looking forward to next week's. I know that they were doing the tapings last night. I've been trying to avoid the spoilers for that, like death, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where they go with the new direction. Looking forward to seeing Johnny coming and actually having a championship celebration or something along those lines, seeing who challenges Shayna next. Who do you think should challenge Shayna next? That'd be an interesting one. If you've liked what I've done in this video, please hit that like button, and if you want to keep up to date with all of my content, hit that subscribe button, hit the notify bell, and you'll never miss an episode of Wrestling in the Dark. Come on, let's be friends.